So why are you running again?
Well, over over my tenure as mayor, a lot of good things have happened in Olean, and I would like to continue the progress. We've had a lot of good people working on the progress here. We've got a lot of real good things going on. From the start, I've tried to instill teamwork, and that's what's been happening. I've been working very well with the councils, very well with the CEOs, CEO Alliance, with the chamber, the faith-based community. That's been very important in Olean, so I've been working well with everybody, and I just want to continue that progress going forward. That everybody's here for Olean, and we want to keep that going. Uh, you know, I don't want to make any promises. I just want to continue progress.
Currently, what is the biggest issue that's going to be facing the city the next 4 years, and how would you handle it?
Well, I think the biggest issue is blight, and that's been talked about. That's been going on for many, many years. It's been going on for many administrations. How do we handle blight? We've got some good things happening. The county is just they now have the land bank that'll help fight blight not only in Olean but throughout the county. We have the council is on probably the biggest piece of legislation right now that they're working on passing is for the inspections of the rental properties. I commend them. They're taking their time. They're looking at everything because this piece of legislation can be the biggest tool that there is in fighting blight. Blight is everywhere. Blight is all throughout our community, and that's the biggest issue. Trying to get a handle on the blight. Trying to, it's like I can put it to it's like cancer. You have the one cell could be the one property in that neighborhood that if it's not taken care of, it starts to spread. And we want to get back to having the neighborhoods back to being the nice neighborhoods that we've had throughout the city. One of the other misconceptions is by a lot of our residents feel that if they do any types of repairs to their homes, that it's going to increase their taxes, and it's not. People can put a new roof on. Yeah, they have to get a permit, and that is just because we want to make sure that they're doing it right. They have to get a permit, a no-cost permit. They can paint their house, you can side your house, and it doesn't increase your taxes. It will increase the value of your home. If we get these neighborhoods back, we're going to see values of the homes start coming back up. But we've got to start somewhere. This is a critical piece of legislation that can help there. I know people say we have things on the books or we have laws on the books already, but the laws are tough to do, to deal with. And the key is getting inside the properties to make sure that they are the minimum standards, and that's where you start to tackle blight. So blight is probably the key issue moving forward to keep the city on the upswing.
How would you prefer to go about working out some of the issues with the city budget, balancing the need for programs as well as the need for fiscal responsibility?
Well, that's a very tough subject to do. We want to maintain. You always want to try to maintain the level of services that you've been providing because that's what people expect. So we have to try to, we have to take a look at our revenue streams, and we have to take a look at the cost that we have to provide all these services. So living within the tax cap is a tough issue. Number one, you usually like right now we still have not been given what the tax cap's going to be for budgets starting June 1. We're waiting for that. We should have that. I believe the budget start January 1. The tax cap was 1.78 or somewhere in that area there. Now, if you look at our tax cap, if you look at 2% on the city budget, that's $140,000 that we could raise the levy. So a lot of issues involved. You have the we're going to have labor costs. We're going to have health care costs. You're going to have retirement cost, and then you have the cost of running the programs. So, right now, people are having issues. In the last budget, we had to cut out the tree service that we were providing. So that was a big shock to everybody there. But it's these things that the decisions have to be made. What are we gonna keep providing at that cost? As we increase our property values, as we get more businesses into town here, as we start to increase our revenue basis, this can help out too. All the new businesses that have opened, our sales tax should be going up. So these are kind of our revenue spots. So trying to balance all that, trying to maintain services. How are we going to do that? We're going to be diligent. We're going to, when I have my budget interviews with the department heads, we're going to scrutinize every piece of spending that they want to have. We're going to take a look at our equipment, and can the equipment last another year versus buying new? If we keep it in good working condition. We do have 5 mechanics at the city garage, so we do a lot of repairs on our equipment. So just moving forward, we have to be diligent. We have to strike that balance, and it has to be acceptable to to the Common Council that they have the final say on what the budget's going to be. I've been criticized for saying that my administration has squandered $5 million that the surplus was at. When I took office, yes, the day I took office, the surplus was at $5 million, but 1.5 million of that surplus had already been committed to projects, one of them being the North Union Street project. So that brought it down to 3.5, and that's where we've been holding is a little over 3.2 in that area there. So our budget, our fund balance is sufficient. If you can look at it another way. If you have too much in your fund balance, maybe you've overtaxed the people. So we're right there where the suggestions have been made by accounting people. Nobody will come out and say a hard, fast rule. You have to have this or you have to have that. But the suggestion is 3 months of operating expenses or 15% is what I've heard since the days I started on the county legislature, and that's been carried through with a lot of places. So we're there. We're trying to maintain that, but yet it's a balancing act because you have a lot of projects that have to be done. We've done 38 streets, unimproved streets. We've mill and paved and blacktop 38 unimproved streets. We've done a lot of projects that have been, kicked out. The can has been kicked down the road, and it's sometimes you have to do it. A roof on the fire department, a roof over at the maintenance building by the stadium, different things like that that you have to do. A generator at the city building had to be done there, generator at the fire department, different things like that as as the projects have gone. So we've done a lot. We've done good things, and we've got to keep the progress going. And as we keep the progress going here in Olean, it's just going to make things better for all of our citizens.
And with the state of the city's infrastructure, specifically water and sewer lines, in the next 4 years, how would you go about accomplishing some of those needed repairs?
Well, we're under a second consent order right now by DEC that we have to start repairing and separating out our sanitary and our storm sewer lines. So the plan is we had submitted a plan to the DEC, which they accepted, that we spend $250,000 a year to start to repair our infrastructure with sewer and sanitary sewer and storm sewer. So that plan that plan was submitted, and there again it was accepted. And in the interim, Tom Windus left us as our DPW director, so we have Bob Ring here now, and we just have to get him on board. So that'll be included in the budget, but that'll be out of the sewer and water, or that'll be out of the sewer budget. That's not in the general budget. So all of those repairs will come there. As for the water, we have started a program of trying to find leaks, of replacing valves, of repairing the breaks we have. And we also have put water meters on all of the city buildings so we can get a handle on how much water the city's using, that we can say is not just, I think if you look at our city water report, there's millions of gallons of water that are unaccounted for. And that's due to all the leaks in the infrastructure and that around the city. We do have an idea where some of the major leaks are. We've been trying to get at them to repair them. These are major jobs. So we just have to be dedicated to putting a plan together, which we have on the sewer and, both the sanitary and the storm sewer. And now we have to put a plan together on the water side so that we can start to repair the water lines as we go forward and start to eliminate a lot of these leaks and that are there. So it's just a matter of basically getting it done.
Why is it that you are advocating for a new charter commission to focus on issues specifically including a city manager position?
Well, this has been brought up to me way back, even when I was a county legislator, that Olean should take a look at its charter again and maybe go to a city manager type government. So as and once I took office, many people have said that this may be the way to go. So I think it's been like 25 years since the last charter commission was looked at. I know when Dave Crucci was mayor, he started a commission, but I'm not sure where that ended up at. I don't even think it was brought for a referendum or anything. So I just think it's time to take a look at our charter. We get a commission we made up of residents of the city of Olean. Let them take a look at our charter. Let them come up with some ideas and let them present it to the people. And ultimately, the people will decide and should decide what form of government should be here for Olean. Should it be a city manager? Should it stay as a full-time mayor? Should there be 7 aldermen? Should there be less? Should there be more? There's pros and cons on having a city manager. You'd have a professional person who would be versed in, handling the day-to-day operations of the city, human resource issues, labor issues, things like that.